Last video about the mental institute, and then we're done with that. While I was there, there was a lot of experimentation. A year before I got there, I found out that they were doing lobotomies. Thank God I missed that. They stopped doing that. There was lots of medications that I was experimented on, and when I asked what's the symptoms, they said, "We'll find out." And I'm going "What do you mean?" And they go "It's an experimentation phase." And so you tell us what symptoms you end up having, and I'm telling you, wow, I never heard voices in my life except for one time with a certain medication. I actually heard voices that were talking to me. It was my own voice, but talking to me, and I couldn't control it. And it would tell me to kill myself and stuff like that, or do other things and all that. But after they took the medication off and put me on something else, I never heard voices again. So when they say schizophrenics hear voices, I believe that there's a good chance they do hear voices. Let me see. There was abuse, also molesting. There was a person that I knew from this town that she went to Storm Out Bell. Then I went with her. I didn't know she was going to be at Storm Out Bell. I didn't think I was ever going to see her again. We said our goodbyes. I knew her for a month. And then I ended up staying there at Storm Out Bell for that 2 months and one day. And then we ended up going to, she left again. I thought I'd never see her again. And when I went to the mental institute, there she was. So I spent my whole childhood from 13 to 17 with this person. But unfortunately, she was molested by a staff member, and he got fired. I don't know if any charges happened. I don't know. They wouldn't tell us that kind of things. But I know that the girl didn't have to go to court or anything. I also had a staff member that allowed me to touch her boobs and stuff like that, and she would fill on me. And since I was underage, I guess you want to call that molesting. Although I wanted to be a part of that. You know what I mean? I don't know. I wanted to learn, experiment, that kind of thing. But, yeah, there was abuse too, where they would be pissed off about something before they even got to work and take it out on us. And also, there was the mysterious every time, not every time, but every once in a while when my mom's coming, they would push me on purposely to get me to go off. And then they would tie me down in restraints and give me a shot. And then my mom would show up and she would think that I was out of control, and I would tell her, they started this. I don't even know what was going on. They were pushing me up against the wall. I kept telling them to get them out of my face, and why are you doing this? And I started to think they were doing this to keep me there. One of the patients got in the medical records and found out that it was $1,000 a month for us to be there. And so we all started thinking it was because of the money, and also to punish us if they didn't like us. But I did develop a closeness with even the staff members. The one that let me touch her body and stuff like that, she's on my Facebook. Although we've only talked one day, the day that I asked her to be on Facebook. That was it. Every time I try to talk to her since, she won't talk to me. Although, she'll do updates, and I'll like her pictures and all this. I don't hold any bad feelings against her. I thought she was a nice person. She let me do that kind of stuff, But yes, the law would look at it and say, you were molested, Malcolm. Okay? But anyway, yeah. I was in a straitjacket. Those things are terrible. The more you move, the tighter they get. I've been in restraints for hours at a time. I remember other people crying and stuff like that. They end up pissing themselves because they were in there for so long. They won't let you go to the bathroom. And then sometimes to punish you, they'll take your thing out and put a cup there, or a urinal, cup, and you had to pee in that. Well, how are you going to do that? How are you going to do that when somebody's holding your wiener and putting it in the cup? Yeah. I did develop a closeness and fondness for some of the staff members, and even the ones that were abusive and mean to us occasionally, I'd still be friends with them because you're with them for so long, for years. And so, you're going to really keep hard feelings for that long, especially you're a kid. I think kids are pretty forgiving. At least we were. Most of the people were in there because of, not because they were really mentally ill. We had 2 people that were mentally ill, but everybody had a illness, depression, bipolar, stuff like that. But if you looked at them and talked to them, you'd think they were normal, you know? You couldn't really tell. It's just that we had a hard time dealing with our depression and, mood swings, especially, manic, where you think life and everything is wonderful and great and you can conquer the world. Those always feel good, the manics. So anyway, that's some of the stuff there. It was an experience, I'll tell you. And I kept a journal of everything and people's names and their birthdays. What a waste of time, because I was hoping somehow in the future I'd find them and we could hook up and tell stories about how we made it, and what have we done, how many kids we had. Yeah, I was thinking about kids even while I was in the mental institute. I really was. But it was in the mental institute that I decided that I was going to be different than everybody else when I got out. That I was going to tell the truth at all times, no matter what. That I wouldn't allow fear to be something that would keep me from telling the truth. And to this day, I have still done it. I tell the truth at all times. Doesn't mean I don't do wrong. I just don't lie about it. Okay. Thank you for watching. And it's just me keeping it real.